Over the last 30 years, studying abroad has changed dramatically. From handwritten letters and expensive international calls to AI tools, remote jobs, and instant communication, today's international students live in a completely different world. So, in this episode, we are comparing two generations of foreign students in Netherlands. One guest studied there in 1990s when the internet was barely a part of student life, and the other recently graduated and experienced modern Dutch student life firsthand. We will talk about education, cultural shock, money, jobs, immigration, technology, and whether studying in the Netherlands is still worthy today. So, welcome to the podcast, and today we have a different style of podcast for you guys. Usually, you see two of us talking, but today we have two different guests, and we'll continue from there. So, my first question and first introduction is for Mahbub sir. You have already seen him in other videos, so my first question is for him. Sir, can you briefly introduce yourself and tell us when you moved to Netherlands, what you studied, and what are the experiences was like from a Bangladeshi student perspective? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So yes, as you said, I'm a Bangladeshi student. I moved to the Netherlands to do my high school in a boarding college. It was 1988, long time back. And so I learned Dutch before I got into the Delft University of Technology. I'm the batch of 1992, and I graduated in 1998. I studied electrical and electronic engineering. I have a master's in that, and I have a specialization in mobile communication and radar communication.
Okay, sir, thank you. So my question is for Jose. What you studied and when you moved, and how international student lives look today, according to you.
So I moved from Peru in 2021 during the pandemic, actually.
Okay.
Uh, I moved straight to start my bachelor's in political science, and then I continued on to a master's in sustainable economics. And yeah, the life is really vibrant, a lot of internationals, but for example, there is a difference now. There are Dutch courses, English courses, and sometimes you don't mix and match. So I'd say in a classroom, I will find maybe one Dutch student per class.
Okay. Okay, so it has changed significantly, I guess. So, sir, I have a question for you about that. That what was your first impression of the Dutch society when you got there? And I have also the same question for Jose. What is the impression if you having studied in recently? So first,
So
sir can answer it. Yeah.
so it's very interesting. You took me back in time. You can imagine it's more than 3 decades back that I was in Netherlands. So I want to, before I talk about the culture, I want to talk about the environment.
Yeah.
So people who know Southeast Asia, it's a very warm culture. Temperature-wise, I mean to say, warm also in every way, but temperature-wise, it's very warm in the summer and humid. I landed on the 5th of November 1988, and it was snowing. So this was my first experience coming out of this Amsterdam airport, something that is so cold, that white falling. It was like I have seen only on Christmas movies, US Christmas movies, that Santa and white and all those, but I did not know what it feels like. Is it really true? I mean, of course, I know it's true, but you can imagine that sensation of experiencing first time cold, but that's not the issue. That was okay, but snow. So
Yeah.
that itself was a, so from that moment I knew already that every experience is going to be a unique experience, and I have to open up my mind and take it that everything is going to be different. It's a totally different world. Okay. And then in terms of the culture, I want to say that what I found in the Netherlands is that very direct. So
Okay.
they are, which is very interesting. So if they don't like you or if they like you, I see that it was a very straightforward. So they were very direct. So you knew what we were dealing with, which was very easy for me because my personality is also like that. I'm a very direct person. So it matched very well, and I felt very comfortable in the Netherlands. Cycling, if you know Bangladesh or India, a reasonable household, middle class household don't cycle in Bangladesh. It's too crowded. There's
Yeah.
already all these rickshaws and everything. You're not cycling, and then Holland, everybody's cycling, and to see your teachers or professors, and they all even also being on the cycle and being so down to earth, and you don't even need to call them sir. You can call them by first name, which was also a shocking to me because I used to say Mr. Da 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 da. They're like, no, my name is Fred or my name is Tim, right? Or you can call me Tim. So it was also a way of getting used to it that your title and position is one place, but you don't have to, they the knowledge did not define your class in that sense. Like you could talk to anybody, there was not
Yeah.
hierarchy was broken. So those are some of the early experiences. I mean, there are many more, but I will stop here and then I'd love to hear what happens after 30 years with Jose.
Jose, you can
Bel
share your experience.
believe it or no, it still snows. The first day I arrived to the Netherlands, climate change and all, it also snowed, 15th of January 2021. And yeah, I also felt, wow, I'm in a completely different place now. It's like a really interesting way to receive someone coming from 30 degrees weather. So yeah, and I feel like it still stands a lot of the things that about the culture. People here in South America, for example, we don't know how to say no. If you ask me something, first I'll be like, okay, I can see if I can make that work, and then after like three times, maybe I'll say no. Obviously, that has changed after I came here, but and it's really interesting. Then sometimes people think that because the culture here is more direct and people are more honest with each other, that means that sometimes there will be less understanding, but that's not really the case. Like, for
Yeah.
example, I've had friends that will say, oh, no, I don't want to tell my teacher that I'm sick or that I want an extension for some personal reasons because he's so strict with the grades, so strict, so direct with everything. But at the end of the day, it's just a different way of communicating. That doesn't mean that the human side is not there than people are less understanding. I remember at university, the first time I meet a professor, I shake his hand and I say, "Hello, sir," and he laughs because he was like, "Yeah, my name is Martin." So it's it's
Okay.
really more down to earth, more less hierarchical, I'd say, and that gives more room for exchange of ideas, freedom, which is really good in an environment for studies, I'd say.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I think it is safe to say that the culture has stayed almost same or close to the ones that were before. So let us move to the second section of the topic. Like, let's compare daily student life across the two eras. So my first question is for Sir that in 1990s there was no WhatsApp or Zoom. How did you stay connected with your family? Can you share your experience there?
That is a very painful thing. You will not believe. We used to go to the telephone booth. I didn't have as a student. I mean, mobile was very expensive, and it was to weigh like a brick. It's that heavy, and there were totally different type of companies than what you know today, right? So there are totally different companies. Things like it might be a distance memory called Nokia, Ericsson, Siemens, Alcatel, Shazam, all those different things that was there. But that came much later. But in those days, I want to say that it was very difficult to stay connected. And we went to the telephone booth, and you would make a call, and especially calling Far East. There was no submarine cable, so it has to bounce from satellite to satellite to satellite, and then there. So the cost was so much that This is pre-Euro days, so it was called Dutch guilders, and it was really like 5 to 7. If you have a special calling card, cheap calling card, then it will be a little bit cheaper, but it was really close to, you know, uh, I want to say close to about 10 guilders, which is equivalent to today's €5 roughly per minute. So all we could do is once in a I didn't have much money as a foreign student, so once in 6 months, or definitely once a year when it was my birthday, my parents would call and then all they would say happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And by the time we hang up and say, how are you? And fine. And the next one says, happy birthday, how are you? Fine. And then you have already spent 50 euros. It's gone. So that was how it was. And then letter was common. And letter is to take from Asia, letter is to take 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, so let's move into the, like you said, the money and survival thing. How expensive was the student life relative to your finance? Like you said, you were struggling with finances. So how expensive was it? Thank you.
I was very lucky. I mean, I from compared to what I think Jose will say, because I know a little bit of the tuition fee now. Those days, foreign students also treated as the same tuition fee as the domestic students. But even then, it was expensive for me coming from Bangladesh. Okay, so I cannot imagine the tuition fee now. Okay, but I'll let Jose talk about it. So we had the same tuition fee as a domestic student, and it was equivalent to my time today's equivalent to about €900. It was 1,800 guilders, give or take. And you have to have insurance. You needed about €5,000 to make a student living per year. But that was already a struggle for me. I will leave it at that.
Okay, so Jose, let us move with you. Like students arrive with Google Maps, YouTube, online communities, and AI tools. Does that make adaptation easier for you? Like, did it make you adapt easier? And how easy is today to make Dutch friends versus, say, staying inside international student circles? How easy is it for you to make like friends, Dutch culture?
I'd say that maybe all these tools that we have now make it easier to settle down, but
Yeah.
not to adapt. Because in a way, if everything is comes easier, then you don't really have to change your ways that much. And I don't have
Okay.
to know how to ask someone around, where can I find this store? How can I buy this? Because there's a translator, everyone's will understand a lot of English. Most people speak English fluently, and if not, basic English is definitely understood. Um, and also, yeah, as soon as I arrived to the university, someone texted me from the student association, hey, there is this group of, because they thought that my number was from Latin America, of Latin American students you can join. And then you already have like a group of people that you can tag, but they're still also that they are not from here. So in a way, it's easier for you to stay with people from your culture, and then you have less incentives to like try to mix up and adapt properly. So I'd say that it gives you more of a choice, and because of that, a lot of people don't end up trying to really learn Dutch or really find Dutch friends. I have a couple of friends here that have lived here the same time as me, 5, 6 years, and they don't speak a word of Dutch. And
Okay.
they work here, they have friends here, a partner, and still. So it's really easier to adapt, but at the same time, I'd say that, and I would like to hear, for example, about the experience that you had when moving here. How was it finding a place? Because right now that's one of the biggest things between foreign students. You sometimes, because you come from abroad, sometimes you come with money from your family or someone is borrowing you the money, and then that's not really trustable enough for a landlord. So I've had friends that have had the money to rent a place, but no one will rent them a place, so they will have to sleep at someone's couch in someone's living room for like until they found a place, but not because of lack of funds.
So thank you, Jose, for sharing your experience in that. So let's move into the education and career section. Mahbub sir, how different was the academic environment in Dutch universities back then? Like, was the system more strict or more relaxed compared to now? You know a little bit of about how that system works right now. So can you share your experience about that?
I think that the education is very strict over there. And I think this is one of the beauty. I think you will see that there are probably 4 to 5 universities of Netherlands who are in the top 100 global list. And I think the Dutch has never compromised with the quality of the education. They made sure it is strict. And the teachers, professor, and the system is very strict. I mean, there is very little exceptions, hardly any exceptions. There's nothing. I mean, deadline is a deadline. That's it, unless it's a system hacked or something like that, or something which didn't happen. But deadline is a deadline, and what you learn about time management in Netherlands is uncompromisable. I mean, it's just what it is. So, and the quality of the education, I can talk from the engineering side, is one of the best. I mean, think about those days. Philips was very well known, and we had professors who are inventors of discs and light and all those kind of things. Today, ASML is leading in the world in silicon. These are all coming from that generations of amazing innovations Netherlands has been doing, has contributed a lot, like our algorithms, like Dijkstra algorithms. So you had those sort of professors teaching you, iconic professors with their name. Those algorithms are there. They are also part of the teaching staff, while they are also part of a industry. So it was amazing. It was amazing to be in that crowd, and you felt a sense of entitlement in some ways, which is bad to say, but yeah, you feel like, wow, I'm from this university. And the publications that you did and the ranking, and so those all made us really very proud. And Delft was also very proud. I think the Dutch are very proud of their education system. And yeah, and if I look at now also, I can tell you that even now they are in the top 100, so that they only keep on improving. And in certain areas, they're even number 1 in the world, or number 2 or 3, depending on which department they are. So as a university, they are already in top 100, but in department by department, they're even ranked very high. So very proud of their success, academic success, and also as a small country, having the 17th largest economy in the world, and still innovating, lot of great things over there. The one big difference is, in my time, you could only study in Dutch, so you had to learn Dutch. So that was a precondition to entrance. So you are conditionally accepted, provided that you complete your Dutch language. So which means that you have to spend, you get 1 year to do that. But it paid a lot of dividend, because after that, when I stayed in the Netherlands, now I was fluent in Dutch, so that helped a lot. So I want to say, at that time I was crying, and it was like, why am I wasting time? But it's blessings later, once you make Netherlands your home.
So, as we have gathered enough information about the situation right now, my next or the last question is for both of you. Like, how different is it for the job market, international students in the Dutch, and what are the problems like visa opportunities, internships, and remote work? Can you share a little bit of this from both of your side?
All right, let's see. Well, right now, it depends a lot on where you're coming from. So if you're a foreign student but still within the EU, your opportunities to stay obviously were bigger because you don't have to worry that much about visas. If you are fully outside of EU, then in the Netherlands, after you finish each study, say bachelor's or master's, you get a 1 year of a zoekjaar. So zoekjaar, searching year, basically allows you to work, because when you're studying here as a foreign student, you are allowed to work, but only a certain amount of hours and with a working permit. Meaning that, for example, I'm studying, I tell the I tell the company, hey, I can work 16 hours a week. and they tell me, okay, let's draft your contract. And I go, okay, sorry, but you need to also request a permit for me to work. So they need to fill a form and then they get it back, which is a fairly simple process, but a lot of companies, especially when you're a student, don't really want to do it because they can hire anyone else. And especially because these are low starting jobs. So that difficult a lot. You need to find a place where they will take you. And that sometimes needs to come more from networking than from just applying coldly. It's still most of the job market is like that right now because it's fairly competitive. And especially once you get your sub yard, meaning your working visa of 1 year, you still need to find a place that the year after will renew your visa because you only have 1 year. And that's also another difficulty because only certain companies are allowed to give you a visa for work. They need to pay a special, they need to be in a special list, and for that you need to apply and pay a fee. And therefore, you are talking about bigger companies most of the times. And at the same time, because we are all foreigners in a way, they can hire me, but they can also hire someone coming from the States or coming from Peru as well, but with more experience. For example, I have a friend, she applied for one of the big four, and she was a senior in Peru, and she applied for a starting job here, and she got it because just because she's taking that like
Yeah.
lowering in the ranks with the same experience. So that's kind of the job market that you're seeing as a foreign student starting here. So I'd say network a lot and get experience with the internship what you can.
Yeah, I'll just add that I don't think I want to talk about my time because it will make the current student very jealous because at that time technology was booming and there was a shortage of talent and engineers. So it was totally opposite. Companies were trying to poach you. They are trying to take, they are trying to put all kinds of offers so that you come and join them. So it was a very different time. Think about internet just came. We are still in 2G technology, GSM, not even 3G is there, and so much innovation coming. Optical communication is there, fiber is there, new internet is there, e-commerce has not taken off. So much opportunity. We could sense it. Opportunity was in the air. So there was a totally different environment, but same thing as Jose talked about. In my time, foreign students were not allowed to even have a part-time job. And when you go into the job market, the company has to get a work permit for you. But that was very easy if you because I was in the technical field. So every of my friends who are from different country, almost everybody got it. Everybody. As I said, there was a scarcity of engineering talent at that time. So times have changed, and now with the advent of AI, I think things are even more volatile and even more difficult.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So let's wrap it our podcast for today. Like we have discussed about the 30 years apart, but many experience I think still can't connect international students across generations right now. Many things has changed and many things remain the same, but I think we can discuss it later on another video and we can deep dive into these topics like international students studying in Netherlands and other countries. So thank you both of you for joining our podcast today, and hope to see you soon in another podcast, both of you together. And thank you everyone for watching the video till the end. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section, and we'll take goodbye from both of you. Thank you, sir and Jose, for joining the video. If you have any last thing to say to the audience, you can share it right now. Thank you.
I want to say that yeah, it's a great Holland is a great place. I love the country. Amazing experience, and I'm very thankful for the education that I received, and I still benefit from it even in Silicon Valley today.
Jose, do you have any last thing to say to the audience?
Yeah, I'd say that even though sometimes when people ask me about how is the current situation or how was the experience coming here, there are a lot of like non that there are some things that I share that people some might get scared about, but I'd say that this is just me telling people to take stuff with a grain of salt, that not because you're coming to Europe, you instantly have all the opportunities, but that doesn't mean that I'm telling them not to come because as well, yeah, the education that you get here is top notch and the experience is once in a lifetime. So I'd say I just try to give people more perspective so they can be more careful and plan ahead.
Okay, thank you, Jose. Thank you, sir, again for joining the video and sharing your experience. Thank you, all of you, for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.